We gotta go.
Can't spend it.
Angolo.
Here is off limits. But Mr. Jonathan. What?
You have earned my fealty.
You had your chance.
But climb down off your...
Your penance will be paid with.
Dead.
He's excommunicado.
Lower your gun.
I'd like to see the manager.
Would be so kind as to follow me?
I know you'll do the Continental proud. Do what you do best.
Senang bertemu, Mr. Wick. Wah, John Wick.
John, numbered. Obviously, you. We beat.
First wave.
Wait.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the glorious mayhem that is John Wick. Chapter 3, Parabellum. If you thought John was having a bad day at the end of Chapter 2, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to go from really bad to oh dear God. Is he ever going to get a quiet moment? We pick up literally minutes before the High Table's bounty drops, making John with the most wanted man on the planet, with a cool $14 million on his head. He's practically glowing with kick me energy. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more, with literally seconds ticking down. John manages to get his dog, Daisy's successor, to safety and then hauls himself into a public library. You know, because when you're facing a global network of assassins, your first thought is always books. He's looking for something specific, a hidden stash of items he apparently keeps in case of, well, this exact situation. As he limps through the towering shelves, an enormous hitman named Ernest, whose career choice clearly wasn't librarian, decides it's time for some extracurricular reading. Right on John's face. What follows is a shockingly brutal, almost comedic, brawl where John uses a literal library book as a bludgeon. Talk about an overdue return policy. The sound of that heavy tone thudding against bone is just chef's kiss for action aficionados. John ends up breaking Ernest's neck with the book. Reading can be dangerous. Kids dot fresh from his literary escapade, John tries to make a quick exit, but the clock has officially struck midnight. The excommunicado status is live, and suddenly, everyone wants a piece of the Baba Yaga. He ducks into an antique weapons shop, presumably to pick up some last-minute party favors. And wouldn't you know it, a horde of eager bounty hunters, looking like they just stepped out of a bad cosplay convention, immediately swarms the place. The ensuing fight is a ballet of controlled chaos and shattered glass. John, with that incredible focus, quickly adapts, grabbing whatever is at hand, swords, daggers, even an old axe. The metallic clang of blade against blade, the grunt of effort, the splintering of ancient display cases. It's a symphony of destruction. Our man is still bleeding, still moving with that injured gait, but the sheer force of his will is practically a physical weapon itself. He's not just fighting. He's sending a very clear message. I am not trapped in here with you. You are trapped in here with me, and I have a sharp butter knife. Seriously. He uses everything, badly injured and bleeding out from a deep stab wound. John stumbles into a clandestine doctor's office, the kind of place where patient confidentiality probably involves a few broken bones. The doctor, a man named the director, is under a marker to John, meaning he owes John a favor. And John, ever the opportunist, is cashing it in. The scene is incredibly tense, almost painful to watch, as John instructs the doctor on how to stitch him up while simultaneously fighting off the initial effects of the bounty. The rapid-fire surgical staple gun makes a horrible, visceral chunk sound as the doctor tries to close the gaping wound in John's shoulder. You can practically feel the sting. It's a race against time, with assassins literally waiting outside. The doctor's face is a mask of professional duty mixed with absolute terror, knowing full well that helping John means consequences for him too. The High Table isn't exactly known for its understanding nature, after all. Talk about an emergency room visit. After his impromptu surgery, John, grimacing with pain, emerges back onto the chaotic streets of New York. The bounty is now universally known, and every shadow seems to harbor a potential killer. He moves through the teeming crowds of Grand Central Station, a veritable sea of oblivious commuters, using them as a shield against the eagle eyes of his pursuers. The contrast between his internal struggle and the mundane bustle around him is striking. You can almost feel the chill of the air against his healing wounds. Every sudden movement, every jostle, must send waves of agony through his body, yet his resolve remains unshaken. He's a ghost in plain sight, a predator hunted by hundreds, but still operating with that cold, calculated precision. It's like watching a high-stakes game of Where's Waldo? But Waldo has a gun and a serious grudge. John's desperate dash leads him into what appears to be an abandoned warehouse or an avant-garde art installation. Basically, a big building with an abundance of glass. And wouldn't you know it, more assassins! This time, they're a group of highly trained, synchronized blade experts. The fight is an exhilarating whirlwind of motion as John expertly deflects and counters a flurry of knife attacks. The shink of blades being drawn, the whoosh of a close miss, and the inevitable, incredibly satisfying crash of glass as bodies are flung through panels create an almost rhythmic percussion to the CH. Aos, he's still got that deep wound, but adrenaline is a heck of a painkiller, and John is fueled by pure, unadulterated leave-me-alone energy. He moves like a dancer of death, turning every piece of the environment into a weapon or a defensive maneuver. It's a masterclass in close-quarters combat, reminding everyone why John Wick is the Baba Yaga and not, say, Gary from Accounts. Eventually, John finds refuge, albeit briefly, in the labyrinthine, subterranean domain of the Bowery King. Picture a subway station, but with more homeless assassins and less public transit etiquette. The king, still nursing his wounds from John's previous unpleasantness with the high table, is understandably miffed. He looks like a disgruntled pigeon monarch perched precariously on his throne. But John needs a way out, specifically to Casablanca, and he's leveraging a past favor. The conversation is laced with the king's signature theatrical flair, a blend of street wisdom and dramatic pronouncements. The muffled sounds of the city above contrast with the quiet, tense negotiation below. It's a moment of uneasy alliance, a testament to John's network. Even when declared persona non grata, the king, despite his grievances, can't resist a good rebellion, or perhaps just sees a future opportunity in John's predicament. After all, the enemy of my enemy is still kinda my enemy, but also potentially useful. Through the Bowery King's covert channels, John Wick finally makes it to Casablanca. The change of scenery is immediate and dramatic, from the cold, rainy concrete jungle of New York to the sun-baked, bustling, exotic streets of Morocco. The cacophony of the market, the vibrant colors, the rich smells, it's a sensory overload that briefly distracts from the omnipresent threat. John, however, isn't here for a vacation. He's on a mission to find Sofia, a former colleague and friend, who runs the Casablanca Continental. He moves with that familiar, predatory grace through the crowds, his eyes scanning, perpetually aware of his surroundings. The subtle shift in atmosphere is palpable, but the underlying tension remains. He's still got a price on his head, after all, and even in this beautiful new setting, danger lurks in every shadow. It's like turning up at a beach party, only everyone there wants to stab you. John eventually tracks down Sofia, who manages the Casablanca Continental, and let's just say she's not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. She's got a beautiful, highly trained Belgian Malinois at her side, practically an extension of her own formidable personality. Their meeting is a tense standoff, punctuated by the low growls of the dogs. John, ever the subtle one, reminds her of a blood oath marker she owes him. You can practically hear the air crackle with unspoken history and resentment. He needs her help to get to the elder, the only man above the high table. Sofia's face shows a mixture of duty and dread. Knowing that helping John means stepping back into a world she tried to leave behind. It's a classic old friends, terrible circumstances reunion, complete with highly effective attack dogs. Sofia, reluctantly honoring her marker, takes John to meet Broder, a shadowy figure who apparently holds the keys to the elder's whereabouts. Brody is one of those menacing characters who always seems to be doing something weird, like feeding a giant bird in his lavish, almost clinical, palace. He's got that understated menace that makes you want to immediately check for escape routes. The air in his opulent chambers is heavy with power and unspoken threats. He doles out cryptic advice and demands, setting the stage for yet another John Wick-level complication. The rustle of Broad's silk robes and the clinking of his expensive trinkets are almost as unsettling as his words. It's a power play, a game of chess where John is just trying to find the next square without getting his head lopped off. Because, naturally, nothing is ever simple for our favorite boogeyman. As expected, Broad decides to be a terrible human being and shoots one of Sofia's dogs. Oh, no, honey, you do not mess with a professional dog handler's furry companions. Especially when that dog handler is Sofia. This single act of canine cruelty unleashes a visceral, guttural rage in Sofia, and the entire situation explodes into a chaotic, absolutely insane gunfight within Broad's compound. The other dog, sensing its owner's fury, immediately goes for the jugular, or, in Broad's case, the crotch. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated payback that gets a round of applause from the audience every single time. John, of course, isn't just standing there admiring the view. He immediately jumps into action, a whirlwind of precise headshots and brutal takedowns. The echoing crack of gunfire, the frantic barks of the dogs, the yells of the guards. It's a symphony of violence. Sofia's dogs are not just pets. They're highly trained, incredibly intelligent killing machines, and they are used with terrifying efficiency, often distracting guards for John to finish off. The concrete walls and opulent decor become a backdrop for a merciless ballet of bullets and bites. It's a glorious, bloody spectacle that firmly reminds everyone, don't mess with the dogs, having essentially decimated Broad's entire security detail. John and Sofia make their tactical retreat, with Sofia's two canine companions leading the charge. This isn't just a simple run and gun escape. It's a full-blown parkour session for dogs. The Malinois are used as agile, furry springboards, allowing Sofia and John to scale walls and navigate complex urban environments with astonishing speed. The thwack of bullets hitting stone, the frantic scamper of the dog's paws, the grunts of effort as they leap and climb. It's a marvel of coordinated action. The dogs aren't just a cool visual. They're integral to the choreography, flushing out enemies, biting at crucial moments, and acting as living ladders. It's a genuinely inventive and thrilling chase sequence, showcasing the incredible bond and trust between Sofia and her animals, and John's ability to adapt to any combat situation. You know a movie is special when dog-assisted vertical ascent is a key action beat, with Sofia having fulfilled her marker. Albeit begrudgingly, John is pointed towards the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Sahara Desert. His mission, to find the Elder, the mysterious figure who sits above even the high table. This is where the movie shifts gears, from urban chaos to stark, desolate isolation. John walks and walks and walks under a relentless sun, through endless dunes. The only sounds are the crunch of sand beneath his boots and the whistle of the wind. There's a palpable sense of utter exhaustion and desperation clinging to him. The vibrant city lights are gone, replaced by an empty horizon. It's a humbling journey, stripping away all the previous trappings of his world, leaving him as just a man against the elements. He's not fighting assassins here. He's fighting dehydration, heat stroke, and the crushing weight of his own mortality. You can almost feel the grit of the sand under your own eyelids just watching him. It's a powerful visual metaphor for his journey. On the brink of collapse, having endured the punishing desert, John is finally found by the Elder's scouts and brought before the enigmatic figure. The Elder is exactly as you'd imagine, ancient, wise, and utterly unfazed by John Wick's legendary status. He sits in a humble tent, a stark contrast to the opulence of the high table, yet radiating an undeniable authority. The Elder offers John a choice, absolution from the excommunicado status, but at a price, a steep price. He demands John's unwavering fealty, a return to service, and a symbolic pound of flesh, specifically John's ring finger, signifying his severed ties to his past life and his marriage. The air in the tent is thick with the weight of this decision. The sound of John's ragged breathing, the Elder's calm voice, it all contributes to a truly tense, pivotal moment. The high table might be ruthless, But the elder? He's pure distilled consequence. And so, in a moment that makes everyone in the audience wince, John Wick, without hesitation, takes a blade and severs his own ring finger, offering it to the elder as a bloody testament to his fealty. The snick of the blade, followed by the sickening squish and the immediate gasp from the audience, is a truly visceral experience. It's a powerful, almost disturbing scene, showcasing the depths John is willing to go to survive, to earn a measure of peace. With his new, painful allegiance established, John is given his new directive: return to New York and kill Winston, the manager of the Continental, for aiding him. The long journey back is filled with a different kind of quiet dread. He's no longer just a man on the run. He's a weapon pointed at a man he considers a friend. The weight of this new burden is almost palpable. This is where John Wick truly understands the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished," or perhaps, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave back in New York." While John's been busy with dessert tracks and impromptu amputations, the adjudicator, a steely-eyed, impeccably dressed enforcer of the high table, has arrived to wreak bureaucratic havoc. She moves with a calm, almost serene menace, like a particularly well-dressed shark. Her mission is simple: hold everyone accountable who dared to offer John Wick aid. Winston, the suave manager of the Continental, faces her first. She calmly informs him that he has 7 days to step down from his position and relinquish control of the hotel. For failing to execute John, the sound of her perfectly modulated voice delivering such grave pronouncements is truly chilling. Then she moves on to the Bowery King, sentencing him to 7 slashes for each bullet he supplied to John. Lastly, the doctor who stitched John up also faces punishment. The silence after her pronouncements is deafening, punctuated only by the crisp rustle of her expensive clothing. She's not just a person, she's an avatar of the rules, and the rules are about to get very bloody. Winston, ever the diplomat, tries to negotiate with the adjudicator, but it's clear she's not in the mood for pleasantries. When presented with the choice to resign and save his own skin, Winston, with a defiant glint in his eye, calmly refuses. He lights a cigar, exhaling a plume of smoke that seems to mock the adjudicator's rigid authority. The soft click of his lighter and the smooth puff of smoke add to the quiet intensity of the moment. He declares the Continental neutral ground, invoking its ancient rules, and effectively declares war on the high table. It's a monumental act of defiance, a challenge to the entire underworld system. He knows what's coming, and he prepares for it with a chilling resolve. It's like telling the school principal you're going to burn down the gym, but with more expensive suits and less chance of detention. With Winston's declaration, the Continental transforms from a 5-star assassin hotel into an impenetrable fortress. Karen, the always composed concierge, takes charge of the preparations, his usual polite demeanor replaced by a steely resolve. The sounds of metal clinking, weapons being loaded, and security measures being activated fill the normally pristine halls. The other hotel staff, seemingly ordinary concierge, bellhops, and receptionists, reveal their true nature as highly trained combatants, donning bulletproof suits and arming themselves with an array of weaponry. It's a surprisingly efficient and chilling display of readiness. The transformation is seamless, almost elegant, like a high-end luxury resort suddenly turning into a war zone, but still with excellent room service. Probably. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, the hum of the air conditioning now accompanied by the quiet clicks of gun safety mechanisms. You know things are serious when even the valet has an assault rifle. John Wick, finger bandaged, returns to New York and the Continental, a place that was once his sanctuary. He confronts Winston, explaining his new assignment from the elder, to assassinate the very man who once saved him. The tension between them is so thick you could cut it with one of John's many knives. Winston, however, is not surprised. He knew this moment might come. The conversation is quiet, almost somber, punctuated by the subtle clinking of Karen's dog tags in the background. It's a battle of wills and loyalty, and John is clearly conflicted. He respects Winston, perhaps even considers him a father figure, but he also understands the brutal efficacy of the high table's rules. The gravity of John's internal conflict is palpable. He's been through hell, only to be given a task that feels like a betrayal. Winston's calm acceptance of his fate, or rather, his refusal to accept it, is a powerful counterpoint to John's internal struggle. As if John and Winston didn't have enough on their plates, the adjudicator brings in her personal enforcers, Zero and his legion of highly skilled, katana-wielding students. Zero, a chef by day and a ninja by night, is ridiculously effective, a blur of motion and steel. He's also a massive fanboy of John Wick, which makes the whole situation incredibly awkward and kind of hilarious. The students move with a disturbing, almost robotic synchronicity, each strike precise, each movement fluid. The swish of their katanas cutting through the air, the rhythmic tap of their specialized footwear on the polished floors, it's a prelude to the storm. They are a truly formidable force, designed for surgical precision and maximum devastation. The tension inside the Continental skyrockets. Winston's defiant stance now has a very sharp, very pointy immediate consequence. These guys don't just kill you, they probably judge your fighting style while doing it. Like, nice effort, 6 out of 10 for conviction, and then all hell breaks loose. The High Table's main assault force, a phalanx of heavily armored enforcers, breaches the Continental's defenses. These guys aren't just wearing bulletproof vests. They're essentially walking tanks, covered head to toe in advanced ballistic plating. Regular gunfire just pings off them, creating a frustratingly rhythmic metallic drumming. John and the Continental staff, including Karen, are immediately thrust into a desperate, brutal firefight. The bang, bang, ping of bullets hitting armor, the desperate shouts, the shattering of the lobby's exquisite marble and glass. It's an overwhelming sensory experience. John, ever the quick thinker, realizes that headshots are the only way through the armor, forcing him into even more dangerous close-quarters engagements. The sheer volume of incoming fire is immense, turning the once pristine hotel into a chaotic war zone. This isn't just a fight. It's a desperate struggle for survival against seemingly invincible foes. It's like trying to fight a swarm of T-1000s, but they're dressed in tactical gear during the chaotic siege. John finds himself isolated in a breathtakingly complex glass room, a veritable hall of mirrors, where he's forced to confront Zero and several of his students. The reflections are disorienting, making it hard to track movements, both for John and for us, the audience. The clink of their katanas against John's pistol, the swish of their rapid movements as they dart around him, is incredibly precise. John, wounded but relentless, uses the environment to his advantage, smashing through glass panels to create new angles to momentarily disorient his foes. It's a visually stunning and incredibly frantic sequence, where every pane of glass becomes a potential weapon or a deceptive reflection. The choreography here is just exquisite, a testament to the sheer physical prowess of the actors and stunt teams. John is practically a one-man wrecking ball in a glassware store. Just with more ninjas, the fight continues, with John eventually navigating through a narrow, almost claustrophobic corridor, where he's ambushed by more of Zero's students. This segment devolves into a brutal, no-holds-barred knife fight. The shink of blades being drawn, the desperate grunts, the sickening thud of a knife finding its mark. It's all amplified by the confined space. John, despite his injuries, moves with a terrifying efficiency, turning every inch of the corridor into an advantage. He's parrying, stabbing, twisting, using his opponent's momentum against them. It's a dance of death in a hallway, where every misstep means a fatal wound. The sheer speed and precision of the knife work is breathtaking. A testament to the brutal artistry of CQC, you can practically feel the air being sucked out of the narrow space. The scent of blood and sweat permeating the air. This is not for the faint of heart or those who dislike pointy objects. Rejoining Karen in the main lobby, John and the ever-dapper concierge coordinate their efforts against the relentless waves of armored high-table enforcers. This is where we see the true synergy between John's raw, brutal efficiency and Karen's calm, tactical precision. The rat-a-tat-tat of automatic weapons fire, mixed with the precise, deliberate single shots from John's pistols, creates a cacophony of destruction. They move in tandem, covering each other, exploiting weaknesses in the enemy's formations. The elaborate decor of the lobby is systematically demolished, marble shattering, gilded statues toppling. It's a testament to the Continental's resilience, but also to the sheer destructive force of the High Table's wrath. John is still taking hits, still bleeding, but his resolve is unbreakable. Karen, meanwhile, looks like he's merely overseeing an unusually rowdy check-in, just with more bullets and less luggage. A true professional, the relentless assault eventually leads John to a final showdown with Zero, culminating in a spectacular sword fight on the Continental's rooftop. The wind whips around them, adding a dramatic flair to their already intense duel. Zero, still professing his weird, deadly admiration for John, moves with incredible speed and agility, his katana singing through the air. John, armed with his own blade and his trademark resilience, counters every move, his movements slightly heavier from his wounds, but no less lethal. The metallic clang of their blades colliding, the focused grunts of effort, the almost poetic way they move around each other. It's a beautifully choreographed dance of death. Zero is a formidable opponent, perhaps one of John's most challenging, not just physically, but psychologically, with his bizarre combination of reverence and lethal intent. It's like fighting your biggest fan, if your biggest fan was also a deadly assassin who wanted to give you an autograph. With his sword, John, through sheer grit and unmatched skill, eventually gains the upper hand, pinning Zero to the ground with a sword at his throat. In this moment of defeat, Zero, with his life hanging by a thread, reveals the depth of his fanatical admiration for John. He speaks of John's legend, his prowess, almost reverently. The contrast between his deadly actions and his star-struck awe is darkly comedic. John, ever the pragmatic one, delivers a cutting, sarcastic reply, "You were good, too." The moment is brief, but loaded with tension and a touch of the absurd. The wind continues to howl around them, a chilling backdrop to this strange, intimate confession between killer and killed. It's a classic John Wick move, no grand speeches, just brutal honesty and a touch of professional courtesy, if you can call it that. It's the ultimate "you're fired" moment, delivered with a blade. With the immediate threat neutralized, Winston meets with the adjudicator on the rooftop. In a shocking, heart-stopping turn of events, Winston seemingly betrays John. He shoots John multiple times, with the loud, echoing bangs reverberating through the now quiet rooftop. John, reeling from the gunshots, stumbles backward and falls, plummeting from the Continental's immense height, a broken figure against the gleaming city below. The sickening thud of his impact on the pavement far below is just gut-wrenching. The adjudicator, observing this cold-blooded act, declares the Continental reconsecrated and the High Table's power reaffirmed. It's a brutal, seemingly final twist, leaving audiences gasping. Did Winston really betray him? Was it all a ploy? The silence after John's fall is profoundly unsettling, leaving a gaping void where our hero once stood. It's a moment designed to make your jaw drop, and then immediately frantically search for plot holes or hidden meanings. Because, come on, it's John Wick. But because this is John Wick, and gravity apparently has no jurisdiction over him, our hero isn't dead. Miraculously, he survives the impossible fall, landing in a hidden alleyway where he's recovered by the Bowery King's operatives. He's brought before the Bowery King himself, who is now a shadow of his former flamboyant self, having suffered 7 brutal slashes from the adjudicator's enforcers. He's a bloody, bandaged mess, looking like a pigeon that's had a very bad day. The sounds of John's pained groans, mixed with the king's raspy, defiant voice, create a poignant, powerful final scene. They are 2 broken men, both defiant, both abandoned by the High Table, now united in their shared suffering and their burning desire for revenge. The king asks John with a chilling intensity, "Are you angry, John?" And John, with a voice full of simmering rage, simply replies, "Yeah." It's not just an ending. It's a promise, a declaration of war against the entire system. And honestly, who needs a happy ending when you can have a gloriously violent one? And so, with that potent "yeah," the stage is perfectly set for the next chapter. John Wick, the seemingly unstoppable force, and the Bowery King, the defiant voice of the underworld, find themselves at rock bottom. Yet in that shared low, there's a spark of something new, a forged alliance, a mutual understanding born of pain and betrayal. It's a powerful moment, suggesting that even in the face of insurmountable odds, hope, or at least the sheer stubborn will to fight, can endure. Their quiet determination, even amidst the grim reality of their wounds, reminds us that strength isn't just about physical prowess. It's about an unyielding spirit. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest adversaries are those who refuse to be broken. Their journey isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about reclaiming agency, about standing firm against an oppressive system. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, even when that spirit is fueled by a profound sense of loss and a really, really bad day. What a ride, huh? Today we're diving headfirst into the stylish, bullet-ridden world of John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, where our favorite dog-loving assassin finds himself in a pickle the size of a city block. If you thought John had it rough before, well, bless your optimistic heart. We pick up literally seconds after the last film, with John Wick declared excommunicado from the mysterious high table. That means a whopping $14 million bounty has been placed on his head, effective in, well, about an hour. Talk about a bad day at the office. The streets of New York are suddenly less about sightseeing and more about surviving. Every shadow holds a potential threat. Every passerby could be an assassin looking to cash in on that sweet, sweet bounty. John's got a bloodied face, a bullet wound, and a very good boy by his side, but mostly, he's got trouble. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me keep the action coming. With the clock ticking down, John, ever the pragmatist, decides a public library is the perfect place for a bit of R&R, or at least some first aid supplies. Because nothing says covert operation like a guy covered in blood rummaging through books. Predictably, his quiet trip is interrupted by an intimidatingly large assassin. What follows is less a literary discussion and more a lesson in book-through. John, proving he truly can weaponize anything, uses a weighty tome to deliver some truly satisfying blunt force trauma. The thud of the book hitting bone, the grunts of exertion, the shattering display cases it's a symphony of violence in an otherwise hushed sanctuary. He weaves through shelves, using the environment to his advantage, the tactile feel of aged paper and wood contrasted with the harsh reality of every punch landed. It's a brutal, close-quarters dance, with every move designed for maximum impact, making you wince and cheer all at once. Even without a gun, John Wick is still a force of nature, turning a quiet reading room into a demolition derby, barely out of the library. John finds himself in an antique shop that specializes in, you guessed it, sharp pointy things and historical weaponry. Because when you're excommunicado, the universe just knows you need more tools for mayhem. He crafts a makeshift weapon and proceeds to turn the shop into a whirlwind of shattered glass and precise, lethal knife throws. The shatter of the glass, the whiz of the thrown knives, the sickening thud as they find their mark, it's a masterclass in controlled chaos. Just as you think he might get a moment's peace, a motorcycle gang of assassins decides to join the party. And how does John escape this? By commandeering a horse, naturally. Because nothing says I'm a legendary assassin on the run quite like a high-speed equestrian chase through the bustling, rain-slicked streets of New York City. The clip-clop of hooves against asphalt, the roar of motorcycle engines. The shouts of confused pedestrians, it's an absurdly glorious sequence that makes you question why more action movies don't feature horse chases. It's less a chase, more an equine-assisted ballet of destruction, solidifying John's status as the guy who always finds the most dramatic way out after a brief, very painful pit stop for a bullet extraction done by a surprisingly nonchalant doctor who apparently specializes in pre-excommunicado injuries. John makes his way to the Continental. Winston, the ever-suave manager, is there, but his hands are tied. The clock is ticking down, the bounty is about to go live, and John is effectively radioactive. It's a tense, hushed moment, punctuated by the faint tick-tock of the digital clock counting down to John's official designation as persona non grata. The feeling of quiet desperation hangs heavy in the air, the soft rustle of Winston's suit, the sharp intake of John's breath as he endures the hurried medical treatment. Despite the imminent threat, there's a strange sense of calm within the Continental's sacred walls, a last breath of sanctuary before the storm truly hits. This is where John tries to leverage a past marker, a blood oath he's owed, a desperate attempt to cling to the rules he's so meticulously followed, even as they now condemn him. It's a short reprieve, a breath before the plunge, hinting at the depths of this secret world he inhabits. With few options left, John jets off to Casablanca because when in doubt, go to an exotic locale to find someone who owes you a favor. Here, he meets Sofia Al-Azwar, played by the effortlessly cool Hala Berry. Sofia is the manager of the Moroccan Continental, and she's not exactly thrilled to see John, largely because he's bringing a whole heap of trouble to her doorstep. Oh, and she has two impeccably trained Malinois dogs, who are basically furry, four-legged missiles. The dessert heat, the murmuring crowds, the subtle tension in Sofia's voice, it all sets a perfect stage for this reunion. John reminds her of a marker, a blood oath, that she owes him. You can practically feel the weight of that past favor, the invisible chain binding them. There's a palpable shift in the air, a sense of reluctant obligation overriding personal feelings. It's clear that in this world, debts are not just paid in coin, but in blood, sweat, and a whole lot of canine-assisted violence. You know, just another Tuesday for John Wick. It's a reminder that even assassins have a complicated past with old friends. And sometimes, those friends come with razor-sharp teeth and an insatiable appetite for chaos. John needs to find the Elder, the only one above the high table. Sofia leads him to an old contact, Brada, who, predictably, is a sniveling little worm. After a tense negotiation, where Brada offers information for Sofia's dog a big no-no, as it turns out he shoots one of the dogs. Bad move, Broder. Very, very bad move. What follows is an explosion of coordinated violence. Sofia, fueled by righteous fury, unleashes her dogs, who become canine ballistic missiles, tearing through Brada's guards with incredible precision. The bark and snarl of the dogs, the rapid-fire thwip of silenced pistols, the crash of bodies hitting walls. It's a beautifully choreographed ballet of bloodshed. John and Sofia move in perfect sync, a deadly duo, covering each other, the dogs acting as extensions of their will, biting, tripping, and tearing. The sheer efficiency of the dogs, launching themselves at designated targets, is a sight to behold. It's a brutal reminder that you never, ever mess with an assassin's dog, especially when that assassin is John Wick, and their friend is Sofia. This isn't just a fight. It's a lesson in respecting boundaries, taught with extreme prejudice after the Casbah carnage. Sofia helps John get to a point where he can find the Elder. The instruction, follow the stars, so John, ever the overachiever, trudges into the desolate, baking Moroccan desert. He walks and walks, pushing his body to its absolute limits until he collapses, utterly spent. The sun beats down mercilessly, the sand grates under his hands as he crawls, the sheer exhaustion almost palpable. Just when you think he's finally done for, he's found and brought before the Elder, a mysterious figure cloaked in shadows, supposedly at the very top of the high table's power structure. The Elder, perched on a throne of ancient stones, offers John a chance to live. The cost, fealty. He must pledge himself to the high table, serve them for the rest of his days, and as a token of his sincerity, he must sever a finger and offer his wedding ring. The quiet solemnity of the dessert, the hushed tones of the Elder, the sharp slice of the knife, and the weighty thud of the ring. It's a grim, almost ritualistic scene. John, broken but not beaten, makes the ultimate sacrifice, severing ties to his past life to ensure his future survival. A choice that feels both inevitable and heartbreaking. Asterisk, while John is busy giving up digits in the dessert. Back in New York, the adjudicator, a stern, no-nonsense representative of the high table, is making her rounds. She's dressed in black, moving with an air of absolute authority, like a corporate auditor for the apocalypse. Her mission, punish anyone who helped John Wick. This means Winston, for giving John an hour's head start. the Bowery King for treating John's wounds and giving him a gun, a mere 7 bullets, mind you, for a $14 million bounty, the cheek, and the director for her sanctuary. She delivers her verdict with chilling calmness, the swish of her robes, the crispness of her voice, cutting through any hope of leniency. Winston is given 7 days to abdicate, the Bowery King loses his kingdom, and the director, who helped John get to Casablanca, faces a brutal penance. It's a stark reminder of the High Table's far-reaching power, their rigid adherence to rules, and their absolute intolerance for defiance. You can practically feel the air thicken with tension, knowing that the hammer is about to drop, not just on John, but on everyone in his orbit. It's a very polite, very deadly corporate takeover. John, now with a rather noticeable gap where his ring finger used to be, returns to New York, fresh from his dessert ordeal. He goes to see the director, the head of the Rusker Roma, who previously helped him escape. But John arrives just in time to witness her penance being carried out by the adjudicator's personal enforcer, Zero, and his ninja-like assassins. The thud of Zero's foot as he kicks open the door, the sharp, almost ceremonial clink of the knives as they are drawn, and the horrific slice and gush as the director is repeatedly, methodically stabbed in the hands, a symbolic punishment for breaking the rules of sanctuary. It's a gut-wrenching scene, made more impactful by John's helpless witness, his muted roar of frustration. He can't intervene. He's trying to get back in the High Table's good graces. The director, stoic despite the immense pain, endures her punishment, a chilling display of the High Table's absolute power and their penchant for ironic, precise retribution. It solidifies the sheer ruthlessness of the world John is trapped in, where even ancient bonds can't prevent the High Table's judgment from falling swift and hard. John's attempt to lay low is short-lived, as Zero and his ridiculously agile, katana-wielding students come calling. What follows is an absolutely epic motorcycle chase through the crowded streets of New York, blending high-octane vehicular combat with surprisingly intimate, sword-based dueling. The screech of tires, the clash of metal on metal as swords scrape against motorcycle chassis, the almost melodic whoosh of air as John weaves through traffic, fending off attacks. It's a marvel of choreography, with John displaying his unparalleled ability to adapt, using every bump, every car, every street lamp as part of his deadly dance. The students, clearly big fans of John Wick, seem almost giddy to be fighting him, a mix of admiration and lethal intent. It's like a high-stakes, extremely violent fan club meeting. The speed, the precision, the sheer number of opponents sits a sensory overload, leaving you breathless and marveling at the sheer artistry of the carnage. Every swing, every parry, every precise kick is a testament to John's skill, and the students' desperate desire to prove themselves against the Baba Yaga himself. After the motorcycle mayhem, John finds himself face-to-face with Zero, the adjudicator's lead assassin. Zero, it turns out, is a massive John Wick fanboy, which makes their subsequent knife fight all the more, well, awkward. He keeps gushing about how great John is, mid-parry, mid-thrust, like a fan meeting his idol while simultaneously trying to disavow him. The clang of knives, the rapid thud-thud-thud of precise strikes, the audible whoosh as blades narrowly miss their targets. It's an intense, personal battle. Zero's students, also John Wick enthusiasts, try to join in, only to be admonished by Zero, "He's mine." It's a wonderfully bizarre dynamic, adding a layer of darkly comedic tension to an already lethal encounter. John, ever the professional, doesn't reciprocate the fanboy affection, focusing purely on survival. It's a brutal, close-quarters combat sequence that highlights both assassins' incredible skill, made more memorable by Zero's almost stalker-like admiration. You almost feel bad for Zero, almost, until you remember he's trying to kill John Wick. John finally makes it back to the Continental, where Winston, in a move that screams, "I'm a legend, deal with it," decides he's not going to abdicate. Instead, he declares war on the High Table, much to the adjudicator's visible annoyance. Winston, ever the showman, enjoys a last drink with John, a quiet clinking of glasses, before the hotel transforms into a fortress. It's a defiant stand, a refusal to bow to the High Table's absolute power. Karen, the stoic concierge, arms the staff, who suddenly reveal themselves to be incredibly proficient in combat. The click-clack of weapons being loaded, the muffled thud of bulletproof vests being donned, the low murmur of instructions, the entire hotel hums with a focused, deadly energy. It's a magnificent bring-it-on moment, as the rules of sanctuary are thrown out the window, and the sanctity of the Continental is defended with extreme prejudice. The rattle of the main gate being sealed, the heavy clunk of reinforced doors, all set the stage for an inevitable, explosive confrontation. This is the High Table's response, and it's going to be brutal. And so, the High Table's forces arrive, looking like a heavily armed SWAT team, complete with heavy artillery and a total lack of concern for property damage. They breach the Continental, unleashing a barrage of gunfire, and the battle begins in earnest. The crack of automatic weapons, the thud of bodies, the whoosh of the air being displaced by rounds, it's a chaotic symphony of destruction. John, Winston, and Karen, along with the surprisingly capable Continental staff, defend their turf with everything they've got. The walls of the Continental, once a beacon of neutrality, now become a bullet-riddled testament to defiance. The sheer volume of incoming fire is overwhelming, forcing John to adapt, constantly moving, constantly striking. You can practically feel the concussive force of the bullets, the splintering wood, the showering plaster. It's a relentless, high-stakes siege, where every hallway, every room becomes a deadly choke point, and every shot matters. The adrenaline is pumping, the stakes are sky-high, and John is in his element, a one-man army against an entire system. This isn't just a fight. It's a statement, a violent rejection of tyranny. The fight escalates, with John finding himself in a room full of glass display cases. And because John Wick is nothing if not aesthetically destructive, he turns this elegant space into a lethal labyrinth of shimmering shards and confusing reflections. The crash and shatter of glass fills the air, creating a dazzling but deadly environment. John uses the reflections to disorient his opponents, and the fragments to disarm and disable. The sound of bare hands hitting glass, the tinkle of falling shards, the squish of boots on glass, all add to the immersive brutality. It's a beautifully shot sequence, almost balletic in its violence, as John navigates the treacherous landscape, every move precise and calculated. The tactical forces, encased in their heavy gear, are no match for John's agility and ingenuity in this unique arena. He's not just fighting. He's playing chess with bullets and shattered reflections, always 3 steps ahead. It's an oddly satisfying experience watching John turn a piece of decorative architecture into a deadly trap, a testament to his uncanny ability to adapt and dominate any situation, no matter how fragile the surroundings. Just when you thought the High Table couldn't send more trouble, Zero and his remaining ninja students make a grand re-entrance, this time on the Continental's ornate stairwell. Because what's a good John Wick fight without some verticality and precarious footing? The clash of their blades against John's various improvised weapons, the thud as bodies tumble down the marble steps, the breathless grunts of exertion. It's a dynamic, multi-level brawl. John, now sporting some serious damage, fights with raw, primal fury, methodically taking down Zero's remaining entourage. Zero himself is still oddly complimentary, which is probably disorienting for John, having someone praise your fighting technique while actively trying to separate your head from your shoulders. It's a race against time, with John having to clear the way to higher ground, or face being overwhelmed. The tension is palpable, the scrape of shoes on polished marble, the whoosh of air as blades swing, all amplified in the confined space. This is where John Wick really earns his Baba Yaga title, dispatching highly trained assassins with a blend of brutal efficiency and sheer willpower, turning the grand staircase into his personal gauntlet. The battle reaches its climax on the Continental's rooftop. Winston, ever the master manipulator, meets with the adjudicator. He negotiates a peace, seemingly returning the hotel to the High Table's control, but only after demonstrating his fealty. And how does he do that? By shooting John Wick multiple times. The crack of the pistol, the sickening thud as each bullet connects, and then the horrifying, stomach-lurching whoosh as John tumbles from the roof, plummeting several stories to the street below. It's a breathtaking, gut-punching moment, a perceived betrayal that leaves you gasping. The rain begins to fall, washing over the unconscious form of John Wick, creating a stark, almost poetic image of his apparent demise. The absolute silence that follows, broken only by the gentle patter of rain, is deafening. Was it a genuine betrayal? A necessity? Or part of a much larger, more intricate plan? The ambiguity hangs heavy in the air, leaving audiences stunned and eager for answers. It's the ultimate drop-the-mic moment, leaving John literally falling from grace, with everyone wondering what just happened. Winston, you sly fox, you, but wait. This is John Wick, folks. Did you really think a little fall from a skyscraper would keep him down? After what felt like an eternity of plummeting, John is found, severely injured but alive, by the Bowery King's men. He's dragged through the city's underbelly and brought to the Bowery King's subterranean lair, a hidden world beneath the city's veneer. The groan of his injured body as he's moved, the muffled clatter of the urban environment giving way to the quiet hum of the hideout, all create a sense of grim survival. The Bowery King, sporting his own brutal wounds courtesy of the adjudicator, is less than pleased with the high table. His voice, raspy and filled with vengeful intent, echoes in the dim industrial space. He approaches John, asking him, with a chilling calmness, "Are you pissed, John?" And John, with a look that could curdle milk, replies with a simple, yet utterly devastating, "Yeah." It's a quiet, powerful moment, sealing a new, deadly alliance. This isn't just a rescue. It's the forging of a new partnership, two broken men ready to take on an entire system. The drip of water, the faint hum of machinery, all underline the underground nature of this nascent rebellion. The game is changing, and the high table is about to find out just how badly they messed up. The final scene leaves us with John and the Bowery King, both bloodied but unbroken, sitting together in the shadowy depths of the king's domain. The air is thick with unspoken promises of retribution, a palpable tension that promises explosive things to come. The rustle of their clothes, the faint creak of the dilapidated furniture, the slow, steady rhythm of their breathing, it all paints a picture of two titans gathering their strength. They are not just survivors. They are the architects of a coming storm, a force of defiance rising from the ashes of betrayal. This moment isn't just about revenge. It's about reclaiming agency, about standing against an oppressive, unyielding system. It's a powerful, resonant ending that leaves you pondering the true nature of power, loyalty, and the unwavering human spirit, even within a world of assassins. It reminds us that even when all seems lost, there's always a flicker of hope, a chance for a new beginning, and a whole lot of bad guys waiting to get what's coming to them. It's a testament to the enduring fight against overwhelming odds, a thought that perhaps true strength isn't just about wielding a gun, but about the fire that burns within, refusing to be extinguished. What a ride, huh?